Here. Hey guys, Rusty here. Today I'm going to be bleeding the brakes. I already changed the brake pads, but they're a little bit squishy. I had to use a clamp to push the piston back out, and then I released the pressure by opening up the zert fitting, and I never bled the brakes. They work, but not as good as they should. So I'm going to do a little project with you. Got a water bottle here. I got some aquarium airline tubing. And I got my brake fluid. You know, you got to use .4 because that burns your eyes less. That's what makes it better. It has nothing to do with temperature rating. And I'll show you how you can do this, you know, with the one-man crew, which is what I got here. So we'll get started making this, and then I'll explain everything as I go along. Okay, got my tubing. This is 8 feet. You know, is it really 8 feet? No, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is I got a drill bit, you know, larger than the tubing, and I'm gonna drill a hole into this cap so I can run the tube into it, and it won't just come out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill this bottle up at least halfway with brake fluid, and then I'll stick the tube in there. And then when we're exercising the brake, the air bubbles are gonna come out, but whenever you let off the brake, if you have two people, you gotta close the zert fitting before you let off the brake so it doesn't suck air back in. But here we're making a chamber of fluid, so the bubbles will come out, and when you let off the brake, it's gonna suck fluid back, right? And then you're gonna push it and more bubbles are gonna come out, and then it's gonna suck fluid back. So what we're doing is we're essentially replacing the person that's working the wrench with this bottle and the air tubing. So you don't need to buy any fancy tools unless you have some complicated calipers or something of that nature, like some of the airplanes that I've seen people working on. They have to pump it from the bottom, the fluid, otherwise it'll never bleed correctly. But there you go, you see, and it's all gonna make sense. I'll show you how it works. Okay, I don't actually want to have to take the wheels off, so I'm just gonna turn the wheel. I don't even know which direction to turn it yet, or if my wrenches are the right size for the zert fittings, but I'm gonna fire the truck up and turn the wheel and figure it out right now. My belt's squeaking, but that's gonna work. I'll bring you in and show you. Right, you can see the fitting right there, dead ahead. So we're gonna try to crack that baby loose and slip that air hose on it. And you also want to raise your hood and take the top off of your brake fluid reservoir, which I'll do right now. That way we can maintain fluid in the lines. Last thing you want to do is bleed it at the brake and then get a bunch of air bubbles down below. So let's get that open. There we go. It's not even collapsed out. You can see where I pushed it in before. I'll show you what we got. So you can see the fluid's full. It's kind of a dark, cloudy, rainy day, but we're gonna get going here. I'm having some technical difficulties. My fitting doesn't seem to want to come loose, so I'm trying to get a socket on there real good. so I can put some torque on it. I don't know if it's on there or not, but we're gonna find out. Hopefully the other side's a little, yep, that got it. Of course now the socket's stuck on there, but one problem at a time, right? There's no fluid coming out anyways at this moment. So, did I get that baby off? And see what the issue was. I don't know where my needle nose pliers are, but I guess I'll just pull it all the way out and then do it here on the ground. We got fluid flowing through, so I'll probably have to show you the method from the other, on the other side, because it's probably going to drain itself before we even get a chance. Ah, dang it. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I got it loose. I got the socket off. So I'm gonna get under there and put the little hose on it and then crack it loose. And then we'll show you how little bubbles are coming out on the bottle. And then I'll make sure that I keep my fluid up. You see how it drained a bunch of fluid while I was struggling to get that zert fitting out of the socket, but that's the way she goes sometimes, boys. So we'll get under there and I'll do that real quick. Oh, I don't know if that's the best angle for you, but I'm gonna get under there and run this little hose. Sorry for the lighting. We're running out of daylight. So we want to slip this hose over the fitting. Can you even see it from here? I mean, that's where I'm going, so let's see. This needs to be increased in diameter. We can do that with the screwdriver. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run this screwdriver in here and make the tube a little bit looser on the end so I can fit it over the zert fitting. I've done this before. I'll come back when I got it on there. The idea I came up with is to heat the tip of this screwdriver up a little bit. Then I can push it in here and easily increase the diameter of this hose at the end. Now it's quite a bit larger. I think we're gonna be able to make it happen now. Let's try it. See if I can do this one-handedly. All right. Seems promising. May have to go a little bit larger. Let me put the camera down. Okay, we got our water bottle with brake fluid in it. We got our line hooked up. And like I was saying, always make sure you're wearing your proper protective equipment when you're doing this kind of work. This thing is hand tight. Should be able to crack it loose. Okay, you see the fluid running out? There it goes. And so we'll wait for that fluid to run out through this line and push out the air bubbles, which you can see here. And once the line's completely full of fluid, I'm just going to pump the brake up and down, and then you'll see the bubbles coming out some more. and it should be properly bled at that point. Sometimes you won't see any bubbles moving, but that's why you're looking down here. It's definitely pushing air out, right? And once we get the whole process done, all this air bubbles out of the line, which it's going to backfeed the air bubble out of that part right there, where it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but it will. So I'll bring you back when that's done, and then I'll pump the brake a couple times and show you what it looks like. And then the beauty of this is I can place this over here, right? And I can see it from when I'm pumping the brake on the truck. And that's what we're really trying to get after here, is the one-man job, right? So like this. Here's the brake pedal, there's that, and then I can just press it. You see how it accelerated everything when I pressed the brake pedal? And of course it's going to get dirtier because, well, the fluid's not the best. And then this way we just keep going until we have no more air bubbles. And you don't really need to turn the vehicle on unless you are having issues. But you can see we still got a few air bubbles working through there, and then up here coming from the caliper, which is what we're really focused on, right? So that's basically how it's done. I'm gonna work this a few times, and we got to keep an eye on the master cylinder so she doesn't go dry. But we work this a few times until it's not having problems anymore, and that's it. That's how easy it is. Just keep going. We're pushing plenty of air. Now it looks like it's just mostly fluid, but a couple of air bubbles still. I think we're getting near the end of the air. Seeming pretty good. Still a couple of big air bubbles sections making it through, but you get the idea. Okay, I'm on the other side. This one does appear to be in better condition. The fitting, it looks a lot cleaner. So hopefully that one's gonna come loose without too much ridiculous things happening, but you never know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going on that. I'll bring you back when we got the line hooked up again. Probably can't see it too well, but I gravity drained it back into that container, got rid of the bad fluid, environmentally friendly way, not splashing it on my face. Although, you know, like I said, that .4 does taste better. Okay, this one broke free without any issues, and I got it cracked loose. See if I can get my arm in here. But you can see no fluid is flowing out of it. Not yet. So I'm going to go ahead, I see it coming out around the base. So I'm going to pull this one out and blow it out with the air gun. And come back and I'll put the line on it. And we'll go from there. I mean, there's definitely fluid coming out. Now, let's see. Nope, that baby's plugged up. So we're gonna go do that real quick. Sorry I can't bring you for recording, but we're losing fluid every. All right, I managed to get let's see. I managed to get one side cleaned. That hole was non-existent before, so it will flow now. So we're gonna get our hose, and since we already got it down here, it'll be easier to get it on here, you know, instead of being up under the truck. Why I want to struggle? You know what I mean? I don't want to struggle at all if I don't have to. Okay, that's kind of on there. Yeah, it just slipped right off. But I should have got a bigger hose. But instead of worrying about the hose, I can just get me something to adapt it. But here we go. We got her on there pretty good. And I'm gonna blow through that hole, and then you tell me if you see any bubbles coming out of this bottle, and I think that you will. Yep, pretty self-explanatory there. So I'm gonna check my fluid real quick and top that off again. Okay, it's still good. So we're gonna go ahead and hook that into the caliper and do the same process as before. And probably not gonna be too much trouble to make that work, right? All right, let's see. I just have to be careful putting this on so my hose doesn't come off. All right, I'll bring you in here. You can see the fluid starting to make its way through the hose. I probably need to crack it a little bit more, but I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna top up the master cylinder, and I'll show you how this works when you're doing the passenger side. But you can see plainly the air bubbles are coming out. Yeah, that's better for you. See? Got our little line running across the ground over there to the caliper, and you can see the air bubbles making their way. So all I'm gonna do is get in the truck and pump the brake again. And if you see any fluid drip down, it's because I got the cover off that master cylinder. But we're gonna try to get that line clear of as much air as possible. So I can see it right now from where I am. Okay. That's looking pretty clear. I'm still seeing some more working its way through, and we're getting some splashes from the master cylinder. But you see what I'm doing? I'm just hitting it here, and then watching it down here. Let's see, we got some air bubbles, got some dirty fluid coming through, and then some leaking. Because I'm not going slow enough, and it's spitting out the top of the master cylinder, making a mess up here, spraying way up there. So I mean, it's working. Anyways, hope that helps some people. That's the way I've been doing it when I don't have help, someone to work a wrench or whatever. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, I hope you can see this. This is where the actual piece is. Let me move the camera a little closer if I can. I don't want it to be in my way. Yeah, we can see it now. I'm gonna try to pull this nail out or whatever that is. Let's see if I can grip it with these wire cutters. It might not even leak when I pull it out, but I'm thinking it will. Those aren't gonna work. What about this flathead screwdriver? Could possibly just be on the threads, but you never know. Doesn't feel like it's in there that far. Might have done this whole thing for nothing. Let's get something else. What about these bad boys? It's either just on the surface. Look at that. It's just a piece of a screw. So the screw had been just on the threads. It didn't actually puncture the tire. So, okay. Guess we don't have a tire problem.